Patriotic comrades, Jamaica just announced one of the fastest housing reconstruction plans in the island's history. But the real story behind these 5,000 container homes might shock you, because by the end of this video, you're going to understand the logistics, the drama, and the political earthquake behind this decision. And let's just say the plot thickens fast. And later in this video, I'll show you the one detail the government quietly slipped in that could change everything. The storm after the storm. Patriotic comrades, Hurricane Melissa didn't just tear off roofs, it tore open a national emergency. Tens of thousands of assessments, entire communities flattened, roofless homes from St. Thomas to St. Mary, and the country was left asking, so what next? Enter the Prime Minister, stepping forward with a plan bold enough to spark debate from halfway tree straight into your WhatsApp groups. 5,000 pre-built, containerized, modular homes purchased by the National Housing Trust. Some sold, some used for housing schemes, and some distributed free under the social housing program. Fast, modular, stable, a flat screen TV level unboxing experience, but for your whole house. But then the twist, shipping takes 30 to 90 days, and boom, the plot thickens. Quick question, do you think Jamaica can roll out 5,000 container homes in under 90 days? Why or why not? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments below. The government's big move. Patriotic comrades, the PM explains. Rapid deployment is the goal. Container homes are the fastest way. Fair enough, but here's the thing. Jamaica has never attempted a mass deployment of 5,000 modular homes. Not after Gilbert, not after Ivan, not after Sandy, not even after the pandemic. This is unprecedented. And with that scale comes all the questions you know Jamaicans are asking. Will they arrive on time? Who gets them first? How many are free versus sold? Where will they be placed? And can Jamaica really clear them through customs that fast? Keep watching, because in a minute I'll show you the timing detail that might delay everything. But for now, let's talk about the filler arc in the story. Shelter kits, tarpaulins, and patch-up repairs for Christmas. Because as the PM said, no container homes for the holiday season. So the short-term plan is a mix of repairs, roofing, tarps, shelter kits, emergency grants. Which brings us to our next plot point. Which parish should get the first container homes? Drop your vote plus your reason in the comments below. The national debate. Patriotic comrades, Jamaica instantly split into 3 camps. Camp 1, finally, fast housing. These people love the container idea. Efficient, modern, quick to deploy. Camp 2, container home. In this heat, others are, shall we say, skeptical, because not all containers are created equal, and insulation is a religion. Camp 3, just tell us who getting them first. This group is focused on the allocation system, which homes will be sold, which will be free, which communities get priority. Then the PM drops this. We won't wait until all assessments are completed, but we need around 30,000 assessments before we know the damage breakdown. 30,000, that's a lot of clipboards, and the country holds its breath. But remember earlier, I told you there's one timing detail in this whole plan that might cause a massive domino effect. Yeah, we're almost there. Honest thoughts. Would you live in a container home if it was fully insulated plus modernized? Give us your thoughts in the comments below. The hidden timing twist. Patriotic comrades, here's the part the press conference glossed over. Shipping containers must be shipped in containers, meaning Jamaica is competing with global supply chain delays, construction booms, ship shortages, port congestion, the works. And that 30 to 90 day timeline, that's best case scenario. So yes, the container homes are coming. Yes, they will help. But no, this isn't a magic wand which creates a moment Jamaica hasn't seen in years. A country waiting, assessment teams rushing, tarpaulin season upon us, and 5,000 container homes somewhere on a ship heading across the Atlantic like characters entering a Netflix finale. Big debate. Are container homes a smart move or a short-term patch? Tell us in the comments below what this means for Jamaica. Patriotic comrades, whether you love the plan or hate it, one thing is clear. This is the biggest modular housing rollout in Jamaican history. If it works, game changer. Faster disaster recovery, modernizing emergency housing, stronger future resilience. If it struggles, delayed rebuilds, slower recovery, more pressure on temporary shelters and repair programs. Either way, 2025 is going to be a wild chapter. If you were in charge of the rebuilding, what would be your first move? Let's hear it in the comments below. Here's a summary of the highlights and the key points. Quick recap. Government plans 5,000 modular container homes as rapid rebuild strategy. Shipping 30 to 90 days. No arrivals for Christmas. Homes will be sold, used for schemes, and distributed free. Immediate plan. Repairs, tarps, shelter kits. 30,000 assessments needed for final grant allocation. Massive logistical challenges plus national debt. Largest modular housing rollout in Jamaica's history. The big unknown. Port, shipping, and timing delays. What's the biggest challenge Jamaica will face with this plan? Logistics, distribution, or quality? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments below. Government to purchase thousands of container homes as Jamaica rebuilds following Hurricane Melissa. The government has determined it will use pre-built containerized modular solution as it seeks to rapidly rebuild the housing stock destroyed by Hurricane Melissa. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness told a press conference on Wednesday that the National Housing Trust is to purchase 5,000 of these container homes in the initial stage, some of which it will sell to individuals, while some are to be used to build housing schemes. Now, patriotic comrades, may have to go push back on that. So now you want to tell me, say, me lose my house, I had a board house, that's all I could afford. Me never did a pay a rent, me never did a pay a mortgage, and I was living comfortably. So now you tell me, say, you go relocate me into a scheme, or if you not put me in a scheme, you go sell me one of the container house them for put back on the spot when my house blow down. Zine? That's the wording of what the Prime Minister say. How much one of them container house they go cost? Will it be affordable like how it will be sold through the NHT? Cause we know how NHT is super expensive. So little cheap kiss me ass matches box a cost 20 odd million where you can't even turn good inner. Small crunch up 2-bedroom you can't spin good inner and it cost you millions. So will we be able to afford the price for one of them container house there? Everything about this just feels wrong. Meaning the government job for give back people in their house free of cost. Cause if the government can take millions of taxpayers' dollars for bail out rich business like SSL on a monthly basis, giving millions for keep SSL afloat, so why the said government can't give back something free to the taxpayers? The taxpayers will actually keep the country running with its tax dollars. The only reason why the government is able to borrow money from international multilateral lending agencies like IMF, World Bank, IDB is because of the said taxpayers. And now when we need to get back something from out of our tax dollars where we are pay for century, we can't get back nothing. It seems when we for benefit from our tax dollars, we never can benefit. In my opinion, the houses should be given free to the people that will lose their house. How you figure one put me in a one position where me never been before? Me never did a pay mortgage, me never did a pay rent. It might be one like a board house, but I was living stress-free and comfortable. The board house is what I could afford. That's why that me bill. So how me figure manage mortgage when me did have one like a one-room board structure or a like a two-bedroom board structure? And you want to put me in a scheme? Remember, you know, if the government estimated the damage at 8.8 billion. A taxpayers' money I go pay that back, or we I go pay that back. So how the hell we can't get no free house? That don't make no sense to me. As me said, this just feel wrong. Everything about this feels wrong. I mean, I need nobody to agree with me. This is my opinion. You were so quick to come to the aid of SSL when Nigel Clark did there. And when I say, boy, we not even know how much money it will take to keep them afloat, and we don't know how long. We have to go keep them afloat. Those were the statements, you know, when the government decides that they will intervene and put millions upon millions of tax dollars to keep SSL open on a monthly basis. A private company bailing out rich people. This is why me can't like the Jamaica Labour Party. This is why me don't like the JLP. Them don't care about poor people. They don't do nothing for poor people. But then quick for bail out big business and rich people, their rich friends. Can't like the JLP. As me say, everything about this feels wrong. It look wrong, it sound wrong. I am a natural humanitarian. So when me see something like this where government do but sell to individuals, that means you buy the house, you put back on it, you plot a land where hurricane blow down your house pan. And the rest of them more usable housing scheme. So I guess for all of the informal settlers where they depend capture land, you will be relocated because the government will take back the land. You see me? And this is the thing, because the people them don't know their rights, their squatter rights. If you live on a property for over a period of time, private land, If you live on it for 12 years undisturbed, you're entitled to your squatter's right. Meaning you survey the property, get your diagram, and go apply for your title. You live on Crown land, I think it's 60 years undisturbed. Same process. You survey your property through a licensed surveyor, get your diagram, and go apply for your title. So when the government says on a title, I say all of them are prime real estate here. Melissa come blow on down. You have to move off a squatter land because the government want to take back your land and put uno in a scheme. Remember, and everybody can afford a mortgage, and if you're gonna make people pay a mortgage or couldn't or never did a pay a mortgage, you put them in a poverty and make them get poorer. Because if them a pay maybe 20,000 a month for mortgage or 25,000, whatever it is, that a money where they never did a pay before. Remember, we have cost of living to grapple with, when we have to go grocery shopping. A lot of people forget about that. To comfortably put food in your house on a monthly basis for some households, y'all up on at least 130,000 every 2 weeks. That's a $60,000 a month for some household to buy groceries, market and supermarket comfortably. $60,000 a month. For some households, it's actually more than that. For some households, it can be $50,000 every 2 weeks. That's $100,000 a month. And for some households, depending on the income bracket, it will be higher than that. And you have to factor in how much picnic the people them have as well. So all of that determine how much money you have to spend a month time for food alone. And if it's a single income household where just a man alone at work, you understand? And if it's a board house alone, you can build for your family. How mortgage or drop in at that? How you more manage to pay a mortgage when he couldn't afford rent for a morning? You're gonna make him get poorer. You have to go buy less food. Something have to give. So at that point when I try bring home, you can't put people in our mortgage situation where they never there in a before them bill where they can afford, as me say. So the government is absolving themselves from all responsibility for rebuilding back the people them house, give them free of cost. So the government is actually out of touch with reality because they are not, or they do not have the lived experience of the regular average Jamaican. Said Jamaicans will vote for them. Now, where is your member of parliament that is supposed to represent the interests of the constituents in parliament to stand up and say, no, you can't sell the people in the house. You're going to push the people in further poverty. The people them cannot afford to pay a mortgage. The reason why informal settlements exist is because everybody deserves to live in our house and people build what they can afford. And if it's a board structure that they can afford, not everyone went to college and get a degree and I get a decent salary a month time. You have to use your discretion and you have to take into consideration those people when I have a tertiary level education and them live from hand to mouth every day who live in those said informal settlements. So this is not helping. Wholeness, this way I do is not helping. And help people. This is not the government offering help to people. This is the government actually taking advantage of the people's disadvantage. Exploiting them at a time of vulnerability and weakness. Because people desperate now. We see the government sending people down a Black River figure, check out the land. Our people from the National Land Agency, I think, don't quote me on that. But we see them down there. I remap the land and I check out the topography of the land. We soon down a Black River. I remember say Black River is prime beachfront real estate. So that is something to take into consideration. And also remember, if you could ask the government one question about the container homes, what would it be? Tell us in the comments below. Patriotic comrades, based on what the Prime Minister say, me can already see this leading to a lot of people will be homeless. Because we still don't know how much for the price of one of them container house there. If it is affordable, if it is expensive. Patriotic comrades, you have different type and style container modular homes. You see me? All you have to do is just Google what's the price for a modular container home and you will see a bag of options. You see me? A bag of website where you can click on. You can even click on eBay and you see different style and price. and none of those prices is Jamaican dollar. So if you say $20,000, 20,000 US dollar. If you say 6,500, 6,500 US dollar. So it depends. So just imagine the cheapest one for maybe $5,000. When NHT done put their markup on that, remember say now cost NHT for billing, and me no think the shipping I go attract any sort of taxation because the government are bringing them. So it probably duty free. But imagine one 5,000 US dollar container house. Just for example argument's sake, you probably look upon one $12 million when it got through NHT. Me just say, cause NHT is very expensive. NHT no build affordable housing. But just Google it and research it for yourself. The prices them. So now have an idea. Patriotic comrades, me still the online a scroll now, so me see madeinchina.com. Modular steel container prefab homes in Jamaica, West Indies. This a website I say US 1,779 US dollars. And this are made in China. So it's a single container. Look like it's a single, maybe 20 foot. I'm not sure if it's a 40 foot container. For that the price they alone. I don't know, some way more luxurious than others. As me said, the government is taking advantage of the people's disadvantage. Now the government can get them into a housing scheme where them have to go pay a mortgage through NHT, so that is more money into the NHT where the government can also borrow. Cause we know the government love dip into the NHT funds. So the more people they in a NHT a pay mortgage is more money the government have access to dip into the NHT and use the money. The government wouldn't mind if all away did a pay mortgage, so they would have trillions of dollars in NHT for dip into. So it's a win-win for the government. That's why you hear them talk about container modular homes housing scheme controlled by the NHT. Win-win for the government, but lose-lose for the people. Thanks for watching. If you want deeper breakdowns like this, the kind that cut through the noise and dive straight into the real story, hit subscribe, drop a comment, and check out the video on screen where I break down other political dramas happening now in Jamaica.